Here are 5 reasons why snail farming is a lucrative business that you can do. Reason number 1, snails eat anything. Like, not everything. They don't eat salty stuff. They don't eat things that have too much carbohydrate. But apart from that, they eat virtually anything you want to give to them. Vegetables, fruits, and all sorts of weeds. Stuff that I think are weeds that are actually very, very good, and they eat it. And because of that, it makes it easier for you to be able to take care of snails, because you'll not be spending too much money on their feed. They do have formulated feed that you can buy, and you can also buy calcium. But because of the ease of feeding them, it's not as expensive as taking care of poultry and those other farming that you can do. Number 2, snails eat at night. They are very, very active at night. Sometimes during the day you can see snails moving around, but their most active time is during the night. And during this time is the best time for you to feed them. So it means if you are a working class, you go to work early in the morning, you come back late at night, you can still feed your snails at night. And before you quickly go out in the morning, you will see that they have eaten the food you gave them. You take out the trays, you keep it, and you go to work. When you get back in the night, you feed them, and that is all. So you can also tell your wife or your siblings or your children to help you feed the snails when it's around 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So it makes it very convenient for you to be able to rear your snails, because you don't have to feed them 2-3 times in a day. You only have to feed them at night. And that's another reason why snail farming is a very good business that you can do. Reason number 3 is that snails produce in mass. They actually need calcium, which can be gotten from limestone, oyster shell, snail shell, and egg shells, to actually have good, strong shells and to be able to lay egg properly, because their eggs will also have shells that is needed. But because they produce in mass, it means that within a short period of time, I think a period of like 6 months is from egg to maturity, that which is point of lay. But if you purchase point of lay, within a month to 2 months, they should actually be giving you results for what you want. And they lay in mass. The little, as in the smallest amount a snail will lay, if it's Achinata marginata, is 4, which I discovered in my pen the other day. So they lay 4, 7, 15, as many as possible. And this is one of the reasons why snail farming is great for you. Reason number 4 is that snail farming is used in all sorts of ways. They use it in beauty products, they use it in health products, they use it in pharmaceutical products, and because of that, there is a lot of demand for snails, and there's a lot of it. No matter how many snails you are producing, the demand always supersedes the supply, because when people want to consume snail, sometimes in a sitting, they can consume 50 to 100 snails in a sitting, depending on how many people are trying to consume the snails. And you can definitely not produce all those kind of snails within a short period of consumption, which means no matter how many snails you provide or you produce, there's always demand for that your supply. And then you should also understand that snail farming is something that anybody can actually do. Illiterate, non-illiterate, working class, busy person, anybody can actually do snail farming because of how convenient it is to do. The most interesting reason, snail farming can make you a lot of money. If you start with just 100 to 200 snails, within a year to 2 years, I bet you, I promise you, you have nothing less than 1,000, 2,000, or even 3,000 snails in your farm. Now, with 3,000 snails, if you, let's say you purchase the 100 snails at 500 naira per snail, which is 500,000, that's 50,000 naira for 100 snails, and then you actually have about 2,000, 3,000 snails within 2 years. It means that if you sell out 1,000 snails from those 3,000 snails that you have, and you sell those 1,000 snails at 500 naira per one, that means you're having 500,000 naira that you started with 50,000 naira when about a year or 2 years ago. Very lucrative business, and if you want me to do the breakdown, I can do the breakdown for you.